Well, GaryCon is a memorial convention that I hold with my brothers and sisters every March in honor of our fathers, Gary Gygax, who wrote Dungeons and Dragons. He passed away March 4th, 2008, and obviously we all got together and attended his funeral, and we decided to hold a wake afterwards, a gathering afterwards, and we decided the American Legion Hall would be appropriate because it was a site where we had a lot of fond memories from early Gen Cons. If my memory serves me correctly, Gen Con 2 was there, as well as Winter Fantasy and Spring Revels and some smaller conventions in the 70s and early 80s. So a lot of fond memories there. So we just rented the place, had some food, cooked up some food, and obviously beverages. We ran the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon and the Futurama episode. We had the podium set up. We just invited anyone who wanted to come up and share a story, about an experience they had with my dad, to go ahead and do so, while everybody else was sitting there playing various games, D&D or whatever it may be, just kind of like a little convention. And there was over 100 people there. I don't know, 120 people, something like that. And some were gamers, and some weren't, but everybody was there in family, and it was good. And it was helpful, during that time. So I can't remember who it was who came up to me and said we should do this every year, but it was a few people did. Said, hey, this was really fun. You should do this again next year. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea. So I thought about it, and I just on my own figured I would go ahead and throw a party. So I rented that place again. I'll have a game day in honor of my dad and just get together and celebrate. So in 2009 there was GaryCon 1, and it was a free event. I just invited whoever wanted to come, and 168 I think people showed up. And I obviously did no advertising other than just word of mouth and the internet and that sort of thing, just posting up on forums. And so that was a little overwhelming. I wasn't expecting quite that many folks, but a lot of people pitched in and helped and made it work. And we got together and said, hey, well, maybe we should plan some events and start a website. And it's just kind of built itself up to where it is now. So it's a long answer for it's a memorial convention of my father that I hold every year in March to honor his memory and celebrate his life and have fun doing what he loved best, which is playing games. I have 5 brothers and sisters, and my oldest brother, Ernest Gary Gygax Jr., is a game designer as well, and he has a company now, GP, which is he's putting out some products, books and modules. My sister Elisa is not a gamer anymore these days. She doesn't game, but she was one of the first people who play-tested Dungeons and Dragons, her, Ernie, and Rob Kuntz. So they were the first adventurers ever in Dungeons and Dragons. And the next oldest sister, Heidi, will play games when she's here, but she's not a role player, but she'll play board games and things of that nature. But again, growing up, she used to play with us, role-playing, so everybody used to. My sister Cindy doesn't game anymore either. I do, and my little brother Alex also does. So Ernie and I are both writing, but the rest play some games to a degree or another, but they're not involved in the industry. But what we did growing up, it was kind of part of the fabric of the family. It was gaming. So whether it was role playing D&D, or just playing mahjong, or any game that my pop picked up. If it was backgammon, or we'd play chess. Rail Baron, he loved rail games, so the old Rail Baron board game, we'd play that as a family with my mom and brothers and sisters and things like that. So it was just part of the fabric of what we did in socializing, that sort of thing. Oh boy, there's so many that it's hard really to pick one. But I would say I really enjoyed spending time with my dad, and he was a relatively busy guy, being a creative person, and he had a lot of demands on him to write and do things. But I did get a chance to go through the Lost Caverns of Sajkanth. If memory serves me correctly, I think it's module S4. And I was playing Melf, and I think Melf was maybe only like 5th level and 7th level or something like that. So it was a little bit younger incarnation there. And I did that mostly solo. But going through there and playing through that was just a lot of fun. It was one-on-one time with my dad, which was a great bonding experience. Really enjoyed it. Really had a great time. And there were times when other people came in, but I played that for it had to be months, where I'd go through there and explore a little bit, explore a little bit, explore a little bit. I also he paired that up with the Lost Temple of Tharizdun, which he basically wrote simultaneously or whatever. So I got to explore the Lost Temple of Tharizdun as well as that. So it was probably 2 years of game time and a couple months of play, and that was just a great time. So really enjoyed that. Another one that I'll throw out there that was just also a lot of fun. It wasn't role playing. He liked to play World War II strategy games, and one of the favorite games that we would play was Operation Overlord, which is obviously the invasion of Normandy. And he wouldn't play the German side because he didn't, having grown up right during World War II, he didn't want to play the Germans. He'd play the American side. So I was playing the Germans, and it's pretty tough as the Germans. There's the Americans had a lot of firepower and a pretty big force. But I remembered I had gotten the 2nd SS Panzer Division mostly collected at Caen, or I think it was just to the west of Caen. And then the 12th SS, if I remember correctly, in Caen, and I massed up for a big attack, and I was doing pretty well. So I was massed up for a big attack, and I was like, oh man, I've got him. I got 3-1 odds or something like that. So it was pretty good. And I rolled, and I got an exchange, which is not was a pretty, I think that was the worst result I could get was exchange. So I had to lose the equal number of points or whatever, and I think he had to retreat anyway. But I was pretty disappointed. I was like, oh man, that really stinks. And he started jeering and kind of going, oh, look at that. You lost, you really messed up now. I can't believe you blew that attack. There's no way you're going to win this game now or whatever. It's like, oh, man, And I would played it a few times before, and it's a long game, and I hadn't won yet, But I was like, oh, he's like, oh, you may as well just give up now. You're never going to. It's like, oh, all right, Dad, all right. Okay. He's like, you want to pack it up? It's like, yeah, okay. So we started picking the pieces up. He's kind of to the point where he couldn't put them back at all. He's like, man, you were kicking my butt, right? I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you had me pressed up against the water. I mean, I thought you had me for sure. I was like, what? And you said that? He's like, but since you gave up, you lose. So he had that competitive spirit in there. He used a little psychological warfare, and he got me on that one. So he was a tough competitor. But that was also another favorite memory. So that was good times. But we have a core group that shows up, and we're really blessed with all the folks that come in, because a lot of them come here specifically because it's in honor of my dad's memory, and they were friends and worked together, and they are I think they want to come because it's an event kind of sponsored by his family. So and I've known a lot of them since I was knee high. So sure, Tim Kask comes every year, Frank Menser, Jim Ward, Mike Carr, Tom Wam. Those are kind of the old guard guys that come. Jolly Blackburn has been a huge supporter from Kenzer Company. Stephen Chenault of Trollord Games is obviously, he worked with my dad towards the end of his life, and was very good friends with my father. Besides business partners, and they've shown up nothing but outstanding support. Jeff Easley has done the majority of our artwork, and just an outstanding job, and always back year after year. We've been so blessed with people. Jeff Talanian comes every year, and there's a host of people that I'm probably forgetting, and I should include in there. But we're blessed. There's a TSR reunion dinner that's held here by Margaret Weiss, who always attends, and a lot of the TSR designers and such from the golden era of TSR, as well as other folks who work there in a support capacity, come and have dinner and socialize and have a good time. So yeah, there's a high number of VIPs or guests at GaryCon, much more so than you would see at a typical smaller convention. Rob Kuntz usually comes as well. A lot of these guys are kind of like family friends almost, so it's hard for me to think, oh yeah, they're a VIP. Skip Williams is another guy that was always around, but yeah, I guess Skip Williams is kind of important, and he's always here. So we're blessed with just a lot of great folks that come here. It's close knit. There's camaraderie there. It's meant to be something where you can come in, and it's that spirit of the early days where you can walk up to a table and say, hey guys, what are you playing? And chances are, if they have a seat available, they'll be like, hey, why don't you come on, sit down, play a game? you strike up some conversations, make some new friends, learn some new games, and may come to GaryCon with your buddy, one buddy or something like that. But when you leave, I hope that you leave with 10 or 12 other guys that you can call, friends, just from the experience here. And it's been amazing because of that atmosphere. There's been several different companies and creative ideas that have come out of it, and companies formed and that sort of thing. So, pretty sure Eldritch Enterprises kind of came together at GaryCon. Gygax magazine came together at GaryCon, or through GaryCon, as well as several other smaller enterprises and stuff. So it's been a very fertile ground, and I really do think it's because of that vibe and the friendliness that's there and the connection that allows. Gen Con, great convention, but it's a very different experience, and it's really hard to connect with people there because it's the size of a small city.
Yeah, and that's one thing is I've noticed here that you have access. I mean, you're not waiting for anyone to, you can go right up and talk to them without having to wait around or wade through the crowd.
Absolutely. You're not going to wait in line, really, or maybe there might be another person talking that you wait before you jump in there, but primarily you can just walk up and talk to people, and no one here is going to be offended that you did that or get out of sorts that you come up and talk to them. So yeah, that is one of the beauties of GaryCon.
So what are the future plans for GaryCon?
Well, future plans for GaryCon right now are to keep it relatively small. We're growing bit by bit every year, but I would like to manage to keep that nice smaller feel that makes it kind of gives it that unique character. So I'd like to continue that, foster that as long as possible, and give all these guys a place to gather and have a good time. Remember, celebrate our hobby. Remember my dad favorably, and have a good time.
A place to call home.
A place to call home. And it's also a great excuse for all my family to get together and for us to socialize under happy circumstances. And you know what? There's not enough of those opportunities in life, so I'm glad that we were able to make an excuse and an excuse for others to get together and celebrate and have a good time.